Great. Okay, so welcome. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. I think it's a really great class, and as always, I just pray these classes are helpful. So I pretty much have a personal connection with most people here, but there are some people on the call that I haven't met yet. So just will give a little bit of a background. My name is Marianne Benferrado. I hail originally from Madison, Wisconsin. You probably still hear the accent. Let's see, we have more people coming. We moved to Santa Cruz so that I could go to graduate school. I got my master's degree in Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And then once we got there, I always thought we'd move back to Wisconsin, but I couldn't convince my husband to leave. He just was right at home, and it eventually really became our heart home. I call Wisconsin my at home and my bones home. Santa Cruz is my heart home. And about a year and a half ago, we moved into Enso Village, Zen-inspired senior living community in Healdsburg, Northern California. And that's the new chapter. I'm kind of a slow transitioner. It's going to take me a while to feel that this is my home. But it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. So professionally in Santa Cruz, I had a private practice, and then during the pandemic, I pivoted and worked online with a chronic pain clinic supporting workers' comp patients, and was really such an amazing job teaching wellness classes about stress reduction, anti-inflammatory nutrition, and so on. These days, I'm partly retired, but also still working. I see acupuncture patients 1 day a week. I'm continuing to teach Qigong, and I'm really feeling that in the fall, I'd like to expand that into the wider community and go more online with wellness classes and that. So if there's ever anything anybody wants me to teach, just shoot an email and I'll put that into the hopper. So I'm glad you're here. In the email that I sent out, somebody said, why are you just offering this class for free? And it is such a hard time. I shared that in the email that I sent out. What my teacher Amma says, in times of darkness, learn how to light your own lamp. And so that's what this offering is today. So historically, I've actually always taught seasonal classes. It's a big part of Chinese medicine and Taoism. They remind us we're not separate from nature. Nature moves through cycles, and just like the world around us, actually so do we. So we're coming up to the summer solstice next weekend, the brightest point of the year, and it's really just a great time during these seasonal events to pause and reflect. And there's a lot of intensity in the world right now, and it's just really good to turn your attention inward and what can I influence? What is in my circle of control? And taking good care of ourselves is just so important right now. These daily choices really add up. And so I'm going to go through a lot of information today, and just know you may resonate with some things, you may not resonate with other things, and I certainly don't expect you or advise you to change everything at once, but just a small shift in how you eat, or maybe getting a little more rest, or prioritizing movement, or relating to your emotions in some way, it really can ripple out into meaningful ways. So before we begin, I'm just going to invite you to be 5 to 10% more comfortable. Just invite you to do a big stretch and take some breaths, and get ready to listen and learn. You don't have to do any formal qigong, but just doing a little stretch like that kind of wakes things up, gets the qi flowing, and we're gonna get into it here. So probably most of you are familiar with this symbol, the Tai Chi. It represents the dynamic balance between yin, which is this side here, the the black side is, how would we describe this? Traditionally it might be called the feminine side, coolness, stillness, going more inward. And then the other side, the white here, is the yang, warmth, activity, outward motion, and so on. And so you can see this cycle. They're interdependent and always changing. Nothing is ever all yin or all yang. It's in a flow. It's in a cycle. And so in a single day, you can see this flow. Right now, we are here as the day is starting to decline and we move into the nighttime, the darkest time, and then we sleep. Hopefully we sleep through the night, and then the energy, the yang, starts to rise up. This is about 6 in the morning, and then up here at the top is when the sun is at the highest in the sky. So this cycle happens every day. And then we also can overlay this flow of energy into the year. And so right now we're here at the top, where the energy, the sun is the brightest. This at the top is summertime. And then from there, days start to get a little shorter, nights start to get a little longer. We move to fall, we move down to the bottom, winter, and then the energy starts to rise up, and we go into the springtime. I'm hearing a little bit of background noise, so please everybody just make sure that you're muted. And so the Tai Chi symbol really reminds us nothing stays the same. Everything's always shifting, and externally everything's always shifting, and then we have the opportunity to shift with that and flow with those rhythms. And so you may have heard of the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And these are a core part of Taoism, of Chinese medicine. They really offer a framework for understanding externally nature, internally our bodies, our minds, our spirits move through these same cycles of change and transformation. So each element that I listed corresponds to a season, an organ within our body. There's a dominant emotion. Often in Qigong, when we're doing some seasonal Qigong, we'll visualize a color. There's also a climate associated with it. And so in the modern, in modern times, we have artificial light and heat or cooling and electricity. It's really easy to ignore this and just live each day exactly the same, but that's not really how our bodies are designed to function. We're very light sensitive, and so in the winter, when the nights are long and the days are short, we benefit from a little more rest. In the summer, when the days are at its longest, we can maybe go for a walk after dinner or get a little more movement. And so we're meant to shift with these seasons to, many people often do cleanses or spring cleaning in the spring, harvest in the fall, resting deeply in the winter. And so, following these rhythms can really support long-term health and just help us stay more balanced in a world that is can easily pull us out of alignment. So let's zoom in from there. We've been talking kind of globally, talking about theory. Let's talk specifically about summer. It's associated with the fire element in the 5 element season. And so if we go back to this slide, I said summer is here at the top. So the energy rises up into the spring and then up through the summer, right? And so you think about that of summer is the most expansive, outward moving, and it's associated with heat and brightness. Emotionally, there's an energy of connection. And, fire is powerful. I mean, for those of us here in California, it's like fire can actually be a triggering word because it can be very destructive. But when it's contained and balanced, it warms us, it helps us reach outward with joy. It can cook our food or fuel our passion, but it also can burn too hot, and that can be destruction in nature, or inwardly can be kind of a sense of overstimulation. And so the two emotions associated with the fire element would be compassion, that would be the virtue, but the flip side of that is some anxiety or restlessness. Fire is connected with our heart. That's the organ linked to this time. And there's a physical aspect of it as a physical pump, as a physical organ, but it's also where we hold our emotions. It's also the center of our spirit. You might be familiar with the word Shen, Shen. And so it's really all about balancing all of this, right? When things are moving, you have to reestablish your balance, always coming back to your center. And so there's a beautiful line from one of the classical texts of Chinese medicine, the Huang Di Neijing, and it says, in the summer, heaven and earth exchange their qi, and the 10,000 things flourish. And so we have heaven, we have the earth, right? Or the gravity force pulling us down. And then we have the heavens, the sun, and those two exchange their energy. So everything between heaven and earth, we live between heaven and earth. Nature lives between heaven and earth. So that line reminds us that the summertime is when the energy of the earth is and the heaven is really at its peak. Everything is vibrant, abundant, full of life. Plants grow quickly. In Wisconsin, we say, the zucchini doubles in size overnight. And, days are longer. So this is a time, ideally, where we're in alignment, feeling that sense of vitality too. And if we don't stay grounded and aligned with this rhythm, then it's very easy to lose our center. And this, at its base, this is a season meant for joy. And it can be challenging, as I said, cultivating joy during challenging times. And so I want to just do an active balancing exercise with you right now. We're going to take our time with it. I'm going to walk you through a guided meditation. This is from a biofeedback company you might be familiar with. It's called Heart Math altogether. The word heart and then the word math altogether. Very, very fascinating company that makes biofeedback devices. They used to cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And of course, now there's an app for that. You can buy a little sensor for a couple $100 and it measures your heart rate variability, which then measures simplistically your stress level, your coherence. And so this is their meditation. You don't need the device to do it. And so you don't need to do anything special other than being in a comfortable position. And, again, just invite you to do a little stretch and move anything that wants to go snap, crackle, pop, and then I'll lead you through the meditation. And so if you're, if you have papers or anything in front of you, or you're taking notes or eating something, I just would suggest you just put that aside for now. And let's just, get into a comfortable seated position and just allow your body to soften. And your eyes can soften. You can close them if that's comfortable for you. And just take a long, slow, deep inhale through your nose. And then exhale through your mouth. And just letting go of the day, letting go of tension, and just take a moment to simply arrive. And I'll just be quiet and just invite you to take one or two more really deep, intentional breaths. And keep your attention on your breathing, and then just invite you to focus that attention to the area around your heart. Can be helpful to place hand over hand on your heart, keeping your attention inward, your eyes soft, and just begin to breathe a little more slowly and deeply. Inhaling for about 5 seconds, exhaling fully. As you inhale, feel your chest expand. As you exhale, relaxing. And just keep this gentle rhythm as if you're breathing in and out through your heart. And now the next step, keeping your attention inward, your eyes soft or closed, just continuing that heart focused breathing. Bring to mind a feeling of care, appreciation, love. You might think of a person or a pet, a moment in time that just really warms your heart, might even bring a gentle smile to your face. And just allow yourself to feel that appreciation in your heart area. Let it gently expand with each breath. And then let it radiate through your whole being as you exhale. And we'll just stay here for a few more breaths, breathing slowly, expanding the heart, savoring that appreciation. If your mind wanders, just come back to the breath. One more intentional inhale. Intentional exhale, letting that feeling radiate through your whole being. And now we'll start to gently transition back. Just let go of the imagery, let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Feel your feet on the floor, you can wiggle your toes. If your eyes are still closed, just slowly open and just take a moment to notice how you feel. And this is just a little mini meditation. I think I took 4 or 5 minutes to lead you through it, but this is something I will, when I send out the recording to the class, I'm going to send out the instructions for how to do this, because it's such a useful thing. If you're out and about in your day and you like read an upsetting news headline, or you're just aggravated, you've got too much to do and the line is going super slow at the grocery store, you can just do this, right? It's very simple. Hand on the chest, you don't even need to do that part, but it helps me to do that, and then breathe and then activate that positive feeling. Is really, really wonderful to remember. So I will for sure send that out, and you can do your own homework and look up heart math. And if you're motivated, you might look into purchasing a sensor. I have one, and have just been doing committed 5 minutes of breathing every morning. It's not really meditating, it's getting biofeedback and just making sure that I'm kind of primed for the day. And so I hope that was helpful for you. I really wanted you to leave this class with some tools. And so as I've been talking about in Chinese medicine, the focus is on really always rebalancing. And, this is a way for caring for ourselves in an ongoing way. Chinese medicine really excels at preventive care, at well-being care, and not just reacting when something is going wrong. It's really rooted in the idea that health is something that we need to cultivate daily. When I'm talking about health, I'm not just talking about the body, I'm talking about our emotional health, our spiritual health. And so I have another ancient quote for you. Sun Si Miao said, "First, modify the patient's diet and lifestyle, and only if that does not work, then prescribe medicine." And I was doing a little bit of homework today. He lived in the 6th century, and he lived to be 101, which must have been just remarkable for that time. Life expectancy was probably half of that at that time. So his words, how does that apply to us today? Just remind us that the path to well-being often begins with, simple things: how we eat, how we rest, how we live in harmony with the seasons. And so some of you on the call know me that I'm very grounded in Chinese medicine, but of course I include Western medicine in there. So get your colonoscopy, do your preventive care. Pharmaceuticals can be life-saving. So I like this idea of really having as many pillars of health as possible. And so I want to introduce you or remind you of the 5 branches of Chinese medicine. These are the core methods used to support balance and vitality. And, some of them work directly with the body, others with the breath or the mind, or just kind of reminders about daily life. But together, when practiced together, they form a complete system of care. And, very often, sometimes in my acupuncture office, somebody wants that one supplement that's going to do everything for them. And it's like, it's really everything works synergistically together. And so I'm going to touch briefly on each of the 5 branches, and then we'll explore them a bit more in depth. So the 5 branches are acupuncture or acupressure, herbal medicine, nutrition. I lump Qigong and Tui Na, which is a form of body work, together, and then movement and exercise. And then I also kind of have made up a 6th branch, which I call lifestyle. And so, kind of with the lifestyle, it's how we sleep, stress management skills, getting regular movement, and so on, working with your own emotions, turning inward. So I want to start out, we're on Zoom here, so I'm not going to talk about acupuncture that much, but I really want this to be useful things for you. So I just want to demonstrate a little bit of acupressure because it really can be a powerful tool to use on your own. So right here, right now, just turn your attention kind of to your head, your sinuses, back of your head, your shoulders, and just tune in. Do you have any tension there? Do you have any headache? Is your jaw tight? I just noticed my jaw is tight. I haven't kind of said hello to that all day. So I'm going to show you one of the top 3 acupuncture points. It's called large intestine 4, and it's in between the thumb and the index finger, that webbing. And so just pick one side. I'm going to ask you just only to do one side. And just start massaging that. You can go like maybe start on the index finger and kind of press against the bone there. If you find a tender spot, you can kind of linger a little bit and then go down the thumb side, and then right there in the middle of that fleshy part is that point. And I'm exerting some pressure and it's pretty tender. And so just massage that around. And as you're massaging, if you have a headache, you can kind of bring your attention to your headache and beam the energy there. If you have any tension in your shoulders, kind of pay attention to that. And then let's just move and massage our whole palm of the hand, going down the palm of the hand.
Excuse me, Marianne, can you put yourself on full screen because we're seeing you just in a small square?
Yeah, just there's no specific instructions, Anne. You can just
Okay.
massage it. You don't need to see my hand. Just,
Okay, fine.
yeah, just massage your just the palm of your hand. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And then pretend you're putting lotion on your hand, but do it in a invigorating way. So cover the back of your hand and then go out each finger, and should feel good. And again, if anything is tender, give it a little extra love there. And then just make a fist and let go and make a fist and spread your fingers, and there. Now, tune into your two hands. This one that I just did feels all tingly and vibrating and alive, and this one doesn't feel really bad, but it feels just kind of sleepy. So I'm going to keep going, but I will invite you to do that other hand as I'm talking, and then just pay attention, tune back in. How's your head feel, sinuses, shoulder? My jaw, without really touching my jaw, that relaxed my jaw. There's lots of channels and meridians that come up the hands, up the arms, to the shoulders, to the head, and so on. So can be very powerful. So for the next bit, we're going to go through the other 4 traditional branches, and then I'll touch on the branch I made up, that I added. So let's talk about nutrition. They say you are what you eat, right? So we want to be fresh and vibrant and full of life. And so, one way to do that is to buy really fresh, colorful vegetables or fruit. Many people on this call are from my community, Enso Village. Here, we're very lucky to have so much fresh food available, including a wonderful salad bar with beautiful little, freshly picked lettuces and seasonal produce. Take yourself, if you want to know what's in season, take yourself to a farmer's market. That's where you're going to get the best and the most vibrant, full of chi kind of food. Somebody last week recently gifted me some peaches. Their season is so short, and so be sure to enjoy some peaches in the next week or two. Someone else brought me some freshly picked strawberries, tiny. They're just like eating little bursts of strawberries. And, as I said before, with the advent of electricity and refrigeration and modern life, we can buy strawberries all year long, right? You go, you buy them, they're red, but if you're buying them in January, they're kind of tasteless. They were probably shipped from thousands of miles away. And so eating seasonally is the way to go, because that's you know, wherever you are. Most of us are in California, but we have other, you know, people back east. I think there might even be somebody from Hawaii here. So it's going to be different for where you are. But generally, it's a great time for leafy greens, kale, chard, spinach. You might still be able to find the last of the spring asparagus too. I'm going back to Wisconsin next week, and I think they're a little bit behind, so maybe I'll get some fresh asparagus there. And really, really want to encourage you to eat a variety. Many of us just tend to eat the same thing over and over. So I just challenge you to expand your horizons a little bit. When you eat different things, you get different enzymes, different minerals, different nutrients and vitamins, and so on. A subsection of nutrition is herbs. And so for many of us, especially if you're here with me in Healdsburg, we are entering the hot season, and we can get easily overheated. You really need to work on that. And so in general, herbs that are emphasized for summer are cooling. And then also, as I said, that energy of summertime can go up, and you know, we might be feeling anxiety, and so some calming herbs can be helpful. And so, you know, you can use this in a number of ways. You can buy dried tea if you like. You also can use fresh herbs. Something like basil is wonderful. I know a lot of people plant that in their garden. It supports digestion and circulation, and it's kind of spicy, right? So keeps the energy gently moving. In Chinese medicine, chrysanthemum flowers, they're part of the daisy family. They make a beautiful tea that again is very cooling. It's specific for the eyes. Lemon balm, which just can grow rampant, is calming to the nervous system. And just, you know, with things like anxiety, we don't necessarily want to like totally turn the fire down or dampen it in any way. It's just, we want to just turn the dimmer switch on it down. So, you know, maybe skip that afternoon chai or coffee and have some chamomile and lemon balm tea or something like that. Cilantro is another one that grows very easily in the summer, and that's both cooling and which can help release a little bit of internal heat, and you know, is detoxifying as well, which is good. And so, you know, it doesn't have to be complicated, just simple ways to kind of stay connected to the season. Something like, instead of, I know a lot of people have trouble staying hydrated. We all know we should drink more water, but it can be challenging. So what would make that pleasing for you? Sometimes just adding a little bit of lemon or lime, something like that can be useful. I was talking about anxiety, so this is, I'm just wasn't planning on including this, but intuitively I'm feeling like this is a good place to drop this in. I want to give you, anxiety is usually very forward focused. We're worried about something in the future, and our mind is going over and over and over it. I just want to give you a little tool from cognitive behavioral therapy that again can just kind of turn the dimmer switch down on anxiety. Let's say you know, get an email or you're online and you read something that's like really rattling and your mind goes like that, and you're aware that that's happening. What you can do is you can actually, let's all practice this at home or wherever we are, is pick a color, any color. You're not going to have to tell anybody, just pick the first color that comes to mind. And now I'm going to pick blue, and I'm just going to look around my environment and look for 5 blue things. So you do that with you, and then in your mind you say it out loud. So I'm looking at my computer and there's a little blue screen on there. My phone is blue. I have painter's tape in here that's blue. My socks are blue. my briefcase is blue. And so you take the time to do that just right now. And what that does is when we are letting anxiety, right, kind of run the show, we're in our kind of primitive part of our brain. And that little exercise that we did makes us use a different part of our brain that is like brings our executive functioning online, and it just brings you into the here and now. You're all of a sudden very present, and you can do that anywhere, anytime. You can do that at that grocery store if the line is moving slow and you feel your anxiety coming up of I'm going to be running late. It's like not going to help the line move faster, right? So you kind of just play that little game. All right, more branches. Qigong. Qigong is a really wonderful practice. Traditionally, when we have, over the past year, I was teaching these wellness classes with our beloved spiritual director, Fajun. We would do the animal frolics, and the animal for summer is the monkey, and he would put on a great show of the monkey picking fruit, and we'd all laugh, and it's very joyful, just playful, light movements that help open the spirit. And so for today, we're not really going to do any specific movement, but I just want to invite you just to do a little mini session right now, and just take your fingertips and tap on your heart area, just broadly on your sternum, and take a deep inhale and hold it at the top, and then exhale with a and we'll do that 2 more times. And 1 more time. And you just did some Qigong, even if you've never done Qigong before. And that one I would recommend probably not doing at the grocery store. That might be a little alarming to the people in front of you or behind you. But just something as simple as that, tapping brings your attention to the body. Exhaling with the sound. I teach a whole class on the 6 wonderful healing sounds. And so in terms of Qigong, Qi itself, the word, it's translated in different ways. Your life force, your vital energy. Gong means to cultivate or to practice. And so together, when we do Qigong, we're cultivating more of us. Many people after being in class will say, wow, I just feel more like me. And so it really works on all levels. We do, move the body and do twists and turns and flows. We do breathing, which supports our parasympathetic. We sometimes do visualizations, which help attune our mind. And so it's really a gentle way to stay grounded and allowing the joy to kind of naturally flow, this feeling of well-being. And so if I teach Qigong 2 times a week. I'm going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so it's not happening the next 2 weeks. But in July, I teach a Monday class at 3:45, and I teach a Thursday class at 8:30 in the morning. Monday is 1 hour, Thursday's half an hour. If you're here at Enso Village, you can find information on the app. If you're external and not at Enso Village, they're offered on Zoom. There's no charge for that. It's just something I really feel the world needs to do more Qigong. The more self-care we can do, the more cultivation of calm, grounded, centered, feel-good energy can only be beneficial to the world. So come to my class, look online. There's tons of videos. Maybe you have something in your own community as well. Okay, movement. Movement is medicine. Movement's a really, really powerful way to shift your energy, support your emotional health. So it's interesting. I mean, these 5 branches that I'm talking about, I'm going to go back to this slide where we're talking about the cycle of this season. And so in the winter, there would be a focus more on restorative movements. It's not necessarily the time to be, out there training for a bike ride or something like that. It's more on restorative exercises. But here in the summer, it's really the time to amp up your exercise. I want to specifically focus on cardiovascular exercise, anything that really elevates your heart rate, because it's very, very helpful for managing your stress. Cardiovascular exercise burns off cortisol, that stress hormone, and then it boosts endorphins, those feel good hormones. So, again, I just try to keep things as simple as possible. You don't have to, commit to getting your 10,000 steps. It's like, maybe I am going to park at the edge of the parking lot and walk to the store, walk a little bit farther, or I will take the stairs instead of the elevator. Or if I am going, if I'm on the exercise bike at the gym and I just have a nice steady rhythm, that's good. But give yourself a little giddy up every, little bit, and try to get little bursts of energy. There's a lot of cardiovascular you can do while you're seated. Anything you do with your hands above your head is going to make your heart pump energy up. And those little moments of movement add up. And so one of my favorite YouTube channels that I share with a lot of people is called Silver Sneakers, and they've got videos for everything. They've got dance videos and balance videos and cardio and weightlifting. And so with movement, you really want to emphasize three things: the cardiovascular, and then the weight-bearing exercise using weights. You can use your body weight, and then also flexibility. And most of us don't do enough of any of them, or we may focus in on one of them. I know for me, I love cardio because it just makes me feel good. The first thing to go for me is stretching. I rarely take the time to stretch, and so that's actually why I teach the 8:30 in the morning class on Thursdays, because that is really about moving our joints and stretching our muscles and opening up our neck and that. So I know at least in that class, I'm going to get at least a good half an hour head to toe stretch. And so, ideally, with movement, one of the wellness classes I taught at the workers' comp clinic was about how to build habits. It's like, I can tell you what you need to do, the principles of what you need to do, but how are you going to incorporate that into your life? And so one thing is, specifically with movement, is look for things that you enjoy. If you don't enjoy going to the gym and getting on a bike, then don't do that. Maybe doing dance video is up to you, or maybe you enjoy going to a class and then you get the social aspect. Just looking for things that you that are just going to up that joy factor, whatever it is for you. And then also whatever is easy for you. If getting to a qigong class at 8:30 in the morning is really difficult for you, and you've got other responsibilities or need to sleep late, then don't do that. I try to tape the classes and put them on my YouTube channel. You could do it later or find a different video or what have you, but just to make this really goes for all the things I'm talking about, with the nutrition, with the herbs, with the movement, with the qigong. You want it to be natural and easy for you. And so, you know, with the food, if getting to the farmer's market is difficult because you don't have transportation or something, then, you know, don't worry about it. It's like I want you to really do things in a way that works for you. So we're now at the 6th branch, which is what I call lifestyle. Before we do that, I'm going to take a hydration break. Anybody is welcome to join me if you happen to have water nearby. All right. So like I said, I just kind of tacked this on. These are things that I talk to my patients about a lot, is lifestyle. So the 5 branches cover a lot, but there are many other daily choices that we make that you know, shape our well-being. And so sleep habits is one of them. Those of you at ENSO earlier, maybe 6 months ago, maybe even longer than that, I taught 2 whole classes on really how to get into a sleep rhythm. And maybe I will redo those again. I know sleep is particularly challenging for a lot of people right now, and it's just so important. You don't need to change everything, but very often making most of it. I bet if there's anybody on this call right now that struggles with sleep, I bet you know 2 or 3 things that you could do for yourself that would make a big difference for your sleep, whether it's, you know, not leaving your phone by your bed, but going and buying an actual alarm clock, or going to bed a little bit earlier, or not having caffeine in the afternoon or anything like that. I really encourage you to do that. Sleep is just so important. Stress management, relationships, setting boundaries, you know, just kind of the rhythm of your day. The more we can set up the rhythm of our day to go with our natural biorhythm, really can help. And, you know, some of it overlaps with other branches, but lifestyle is also really where we consider the bigger picture. If you are overwhelmed by the news, are you taking breaks from it? You know, the news cycle is just so full on all the time now, and it's important. You know, many people, when I suggest take a whole day off and don't look at the news, I need to stay informed. It's like, you will. We're in this for the long haul. And so maybe take a Sabbath, you know, don't look at the news on Sunday, and just know you'll get caught up on Monday. Taking even mini breaks from it, not, you know, turning off notifications on your phone, or just turning off your phone sometimes, just letting your nervous system rest, reducing screen time and just creating some quiet space in your day, perfecting the art of doing nothing, you know, sitting on a park bench and just listening to the birds can be really good medicine, supporting your nervous system. And in this time of summer, connection with other people. So laughing with a friend, calling somebody you haven't talked to, connecting with yourself, spending time in nature. These are all powerful practices. And so, you know, it's not about perfection or making any of this into a to-do list, but just about slowly, gently creating a life that supports balance. Asking yourself, is it essential that I do this? Is there someone else that could do it? Or can I just not do it? You know, letting go of those perfectionist tendencies that kind of tie knots in our chi. I want to share a little bit from a book, an online class that I just finished up. It's called Awakening Joy. The author is James Baraz, B-A-R-A-Z. There were many of us here at Enzo Village that did the class together. It's quite a commitment. It's 10. We did it over 5 months. We met every other week, and it's interesting. The first thing that he talked about was that many people struggle just with the word joy, and I was actually one of those people. It's like I don't necessarily have the intention of walking around and being joyful all the time. Sometimes that's not what called for. It's kind of just not how I'm wired. But he said, just find a word that resonates with you. So for me, it was more of a sense of like just feeling peaceful, contented, rooted. I kind of came up with well-being. And so just invite you to think about that, of like what's it's important to just kind of have an intention of a feeling that you want to sustain. And so I think it was in the first or second week, he gave us a homework assignment, and I'm going to give you the same homework assignment because it was just so transformative to me. And so he teaches this idea of inclining the mind toward joy or well-being or whatever your word is. We are wired, we have the nervous system from our ancestors, that used to go out and hunt, and we're just, we're programmed to notice the negative. So we have to work extra hard to notice the positive things, the beautiful things. So the homework assignment is 6 times a day, pause for 15 seconds at a time when you notice something beautiful, something meaningful, something that makes you smile. And so it was interesting. I remember doing this assignment when I first got the assignment. We have a hummingbird feeder. I love hummingbirds. And it was hummingbird season, and they came up and they were, going all around. And the first thing I did, I wanted to get a video of it, so I got my phone. And then it was like, no, this is taking me out of the moment. I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to watch the hummingbirds for 15 seconds. It's a long time, you guys. It was like, wow. It was like, wow, it took 15 seconds. It doesn't sound long, but it's actually a long time. But then the more I started doing it, the easier it was. I go for walks now. I make a point to notice what color, what's blooming right now. Look at that red. Wow, there's yellow in that red. And oh, look, there's tiny, look at the face of a flower and just really savor it. It was so funny. Last night I was sitting out on our deck writing this presentation and kind of organizing the slides and everything, and I was just completely in it. And then all of a sudden I heard crows flying overhead, and I looked up. Man, there were these magnificent clouds. And so I just thought, I'm going to take my 15 seconds, and I just really did that. So try it today, 6 times a day, 15 seconds at a time, savoring whatever it is. It doesn't have to be in nature. It could be a delicious meal you're eating. It could be looking at your grandkid or your dog, or like if your cat's in your lap purring. Just really soak it up. It really can be a powerful thing. And then you start to do it day after day after day. So that's your homework. I gave you that exercise of looking at the colors and doing that. Remember, we did that heart math, breathing. When in doubt, take long, slow, deep breaths. That can be transformational. There's a lot of science about that. So we're coming to the end. I want to leave you with one more quote that's really old, that speaks kind of to the heart of what we talked about today. It's from Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Exercise, then, is not an act, but a habit. And so we can substitute that. Joy is not a single act, really. It's a habit, right? Or well-being. You know, these little things that we do every day, how you move, how you eat, what you eat, taking rest, deep breaths, they really shape your health, your energy. And, you know, we want to, as I said, this is fire season, so we don't want the fire out of control, but we also don't want the fire out. So we need to kind of feed that and find that balance. It's about being intentional, paying attention, and then, you know, we're all going to stumble. We're going to come out of balance a million times a day, but just starting again, right? Finding your center. So I hope this was helpful. I know I went like really, really fast. Thank you so much for taking the time for yourself. I applaud your self-care. And I'm going to be doing these regularly now. And so I know I'll see many of you around in the neighborhood or online, those of you regulars that come to Qigong. And I just want to do one more kind of infomercial for these Qigong classes, is that you're just welcome to come when it works for you. It's not very common question from people is, well, I tried Tai Chi, but you know, I had to memorize things and I felt like I was doing it wrong. Qigong's really, really different. It's just very free flowy. There's no way to do it wrong. You just mirror my movements. It's really wonderful. So just feel free to pop in anytime. I'd be happy to see you. So I am going to stop the recording now. Pause, stop.